Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel where we are learning mathematics. Okay, so in the last presentation we were talking about factorization by grouping terms. Now we are supposed to factorize quadratic expressions, but I have seen it fit for us to isolate this part of quadratic expressions just to make two shorter videos so that we do not have one which is quite long, because this part is the most involving part for pupils, I think, in quadratic expressions, according to what I have observed. Most of them only have challenges here. So once we have dealt with this part, when we come to the actual quadratic expressions, we'll be combining this part and grouping terms, which I already presented. And everyone who is following these videos, you better do watch them in that order that they are presented. So like this one, it's supposed to come after grouping terms. Then from this one, you go to quadratic expression. You are going to find them very helpful and easier, especially for beginners, those people that really have challenges in the subject. I'm building the concept from what you may know to what you don't know. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to do. So basically, this is the part of factorizing quadratic expression, and it's not presented as a standalone lesson, no. But I've just thought so. So let's look at what we're talking about. What we're going to find in factorizing this, we're going to have a factor and a sum. Then ourselves will be asked to find, we're going to have a product and a sum. Then ourselves will be asked to find the factors. What are we talking about? So like for the first one, our product, which is P, of course, I'll say P. Our product is 6 and our sum is 5. Then we need factors. The factors of what? Factors of the product. Okay? Factors of the product. Factors of the product. And those factors have a special condition. When we add them, they should give us the sum, which is 5. So we need to look for the two factors of 6. For now, I don't have a specific method of finding those factors apart from the trial and error. So if anyone has a better method of finding the factors of a product, please free to contact me on my number here, just to share the knowledge on how best it can be presented. For me, what I know is that you have to test, okay? You have to test the factors of all the factors of 6 to see which ones, when you add them, they should give you 5, okay? So just an example, 6 has got the factors. Factors of 6 are numbers that can go into 6 without a remainder. So we have got 1, 2, and 3, 6 itself, okay? When we multiply this 1 by 6, it'll give us 6. When we multiply 2 by 3, we're going to get 6. So here we need to look at those two factors. When we multiply them, they'll give us 6, meaning the factors of 6, this product. Then, when we add them, they should give us what? 5. So for in this presentation, that is just what I want us to do, to find factors. That's all. I'll give you the product and the sum. Then we identify factors. That's all in this presentation. So you'll find that the factors will be 2 and 5. When we multiply these two, 2 multiplied by 3, we get 6. When we add them, we get this one. There is no problem when there are no signs and stuff like that. At times, those people that have challenges with integers begin to encounter challenges when we have a combination of signs on the product and the sum. So this is that for this one. Then, we can also look at the second one. The product is 10. The sum is -7. Okay? So what are we saying? We want two factors of 10. When we multiply those two, they must give us 10. When we add them, they should give us negative 7. What are those? So like I said, we need to try out those factors of 10. But we should be mindful of the sign in this case. So what we're going to have here, like sometimes you may not need to, in fact in most cases, you may not need to list the factors of a product. But I'm just trying to demonstrate what happens. So like this one, okay? The factors, numbers that go into 10 without a remainder. 1, 2, 5, and 10. So now, like I was saying, when you multiply 1 by this, 1 by 10 we get that. 2 by 5 we get 10. Then now we need, I said, the factors that we are getting, also when we add them, they should give us the sum. Our sum in this case is negative what? Negative 7. So what are we supposed to do? That is now where the challenge is. And that is where we need the appreciation of integers. Integers is a critical topic to algebra when it comes in this part. Okay? So, for instance, when you add these two, they'll give you 7. Okay? They'll give you 7. But they'll give you positive 7. So that is why we need to add negatives to them. Okay? So these are the ones that will be our factors. To satisfy what we have. When we multiply them, I'm sure we all know that. If we do not know, when you multiply two integers of the same sign, whether negative or positive, your product will always be a positive. So here when we multiply negative 2 multiplied by negative 5, we'll get a positive 10. We may not need to indicate the sign here. So all those numbers that don't have the sign indicated, they're positive numbers. Then when we add a negative number, please, there is always confusion on the part of students when it comes to addition of two numbers of the same sign, especially integers. It's like what crosses their mind is multiplication. So when we are adding negative 2 plus negative 5, this expression can also appear in this manner. These two, we should avoid finding a positive here, because most of us, most of learners, once they see negative and negative, then the answer will be a positive. No, it doesn't happen like that. It only happens when we are multiplying like we multiplied. It was a multiplication. Now, when you're adding a negative and a negative, a negative and a negative, there's no way we're going to get a positive, okay? There's no way. We are going to have a negative. So that is the point here. We are going to have the same sign. Okay, we're adding them. So that is when we add these two, they will give us negative 7. When you are adding two integers of the same sign, we say you add the two integers and keep the sign. So negative 2 and the negative 5. We are adding 2 plus 5, then keep the sign, which is negative 7. So our factors in this case will be negative 2 and negative 5. When you multiply them, they'll give us the sign. And when you add them, they'll give you this one. Our factors will be negative 2 and negative 5. Alright, we go to the third one. Our product is negative 21. Our sum is negative 4. What are our factors? That is what we are just doing. We are finding factors just in preparation for factorization of quadratic expressions. Alright? So we look at the product there. The product, which is P here, is negative 21. Negative 21. The sum is negative. The sum is negative 4. Okay? So we are looking at the factors. The factors of what? The factors of 21. The factors of a product. Except that those factors, they're given a condition that they must also add to this sum. But we're finding the factors of 21. Okay? So when you look at here, the factors of 21, you need to look at the factors of 21. All of them. Okay? Now, when you begin to pair them up in the manner that they multiply to give you 21, there is this pair that you are going to find. There is this pair that you are going to find. 7 and 3. Okay? On this pair, there is something very interesting. They have a difference of 4. They have a difference of 4. They have a difference of 4. Then, when we multiply these two, they will give us positive 21. So then there's a challenge there. But here we have negative what? Negative 21. Again, if we add them, they'll give us something different, which is the positive 10. So, meaning one of them should have, because for a product to have a negative, it means only one factor has a negative. For a product to have a negative, it means only one factor has a negative. If you look at this one, both factors are negatives, but this one's a positive. So here, so the question is that now, between these two, which one is going to bear a negative? What is going to determine? Because whether we put it here and multiply, we still get 21. Whether we put a negative here, when we put a negative here, it will still get 21. But then this one must also be true. Negative 4 must also be true. So that is why you have to try out now if you have issues. But straight away here, we are going to have negative 7 plus 3. When you add, these are two signs. When you are dealing with this, when you add these two, you get negative 24. You get negative 24 here. You get negative 4. Sorry. You get negative 4. That is very important for you to note. Why? The rules that are taught about integers from grade 6, 7, through to grade 8 emphasize that when you've got different signs, you subtract the numerically smaller number from the numerically larger number. Okay? Then the answer is going to keep the sign of the numerically larger number. That is what we're talking about. So when you subtract this 3 from 7, you get 4. Then we're saying the answer will always keep the sign of the larger number, okay? Which will be a negative. So this is also a topic on its own in grade 8, 7, those. Yeah, but there are things that just come in when we come to grade 10 through to grade 12 and beyond, okay? So the factors here that we are considering, or the factors that we have, will be negative 7 and 3. These will be our factors. When you add them, they give you negative 4. When you multiply them, they will give you negative 21. Let's look at the last one. I've told you that in the last presentation I said the first 4 are meant for examples, then the last 4 are yours to try, okay? Just to find the factors. That's the only thing that we are doing. Just factors just, all right? So let's look at the last part here. The product is negative 120 the sum is 2. Okay, the sum is 2. Like I said, when the product is a negative, it means one of the factors is a negative. That's what it means. Okay, but if it's positive, it means it's possible that if it's positive, let me say, it means the factors have the same sign. It could be both positives or both negatives. All right? Yes. So now it's the issue of the factors. The factors of what? The factors of 120. Okay? Those factors. So usually when we have got this case, like here, I keep to say you look for the two factors, those that will have a difference of 2. Two factors that you can multiply to give you 120. Then they should have a difference of 2. And those factors are 12 and 10. When you multiply these two, they'll give you 120. And their difference, okay? Well, their difference is what? Is 2. So now the question is, we are looking at which one is going to have a negative. Which one is going to have a negative? Okay? Which one is going to have a negative? So, you look at this one. This is a positive. This is a positive. If you put a negative on this one and add the 2, your answer will be negative 2. So, this just tells us that the negative must be on 10. The negative must be on 10. When we are adding 12 plus negative 10, it is the same as 12 minus 10, which will give us 2. So, the factors of this product that will give us this sum, 10, negative, we have negative 10 and 12. That's all. So, please, if you have managed to get the concept here, when we come to the actual factorization of quadratic expressions, the way could be easier. The way could be very easier because we'll be combining what we talked about here and the grouping method of factorization. That's all. So that is why I thought I should try to separate the two so that when we go there, it will be more of something that we have already talked about than combining this into that explanation. Sometimes learners have got challenges. All right. So we've done the first 4 together. You can try out these. All right. So for any inquiry or clarification, correction, contribution, I thought of giving you my phone number. Okay? Thought of giving you my phone number. Otherwise, thank you very much. Very soon I'll be doing factorization of the quadratic expressions because this was supposed just to be one lesson. But I thought also maybe separating the two would help. Okay? Thank you very much. So make sure that you do these ones. If you are still having challenges here, I may not advise you to go to the next part because this one is a prerequisite. It's a prerequisite, this one. Okay? It's a prerequisite before we go to factorization of quadratic expression. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel so that each time I upload a video, you are there on hand to watch. And I promise that I'm going to be posting as many videos as I can within a week or so, because my target, there are some people that are following these things that I'm teaching, but they are far away. So to an extent, they are meant also for those people. So our target is that we are looking at them, they are writing the exam in July, somewhere there. So the agreement is that by July, these things should be done and those people must be declared ready for their exams. All right? So we really don't have to take GC exams for granted. Those of you that have had a few of them, you can attest to that fact. It's an exam that we really have to put in our best for. These regular learners are in school for 3 years. 3 years. Now you can imagine you have between now and July. It's quite a compressed period of time. So I appeal to you to make sure that if there are those activities that you can put on hold until that time, do so that you can also concentrate on this once and for all, so that you clear. As for me, I'm committed to providing the best. Thank you very much once again for watching.